these teachers, man. I just don't understand that obsession with this very well. No, I understand it. I'm not speaking in like, okay, I really don't understand. No, I understand it. You have a time where a lot of these individuals, these kids, these children are vulnerable between the ages of, let's say, K through 12, right? So they target them because they're like sponges. And if you are a person that's obsessed with, in this case, this whole gender identity and stuff, if you are a person that's obsessed with that, then yeah, you're going to target that demographic because, again, they're about as spongy as it can. Like, we're not talking about young adults, late teenagers. We're talking about like legit children, dependents, totally. And this sector of the spectrum that is so obsessed with teaching them about sexuality is just bizarre. I'm going to show you something that's going to be very difficult for you to watch. I do think it shows something, even from a cultural perspective, that someone would feel so comfortable to even post this information. It goes to show where the hell we're at. So let's listen to this teacher in their classroom. And of course, it looks exactly like a person that you would think would be saying things. TikTok, remember, that's where a lot of dumb people are. And this is where a lot of these people feel so emboldened to tell people about how they feel about pushing sexuality and gender identity on to literal children. So let's listen to what they had to say.
Hi, I'm a queer teacher, and I 1000% do not support this bill.
Okay, right out the gate, they're saying they're queer and they don't support it. Now, as I've said before, perhaps the most, I'm not going to say bizarre because it's not really bizarre. It's more of, okay, the bill itself does not specify sexuality. Doesn't even matter how you feel about the bill. It doesn't specify specific sexuality. It doesn't, okay? So why on earth do they feel that it somehow targets them and it doesn't target, let's say, some uber religious heterosexual, right? Like, what makes them think that, unless they're actually participating in this behavior, what makes them think that it targets them? Because it doesn't specify, it would apply to everybody. But as I have mentioned, it's a lot of folks on the alphabet spectrum that have been convinced that it's targeting them. So that's the flag there, which I think a lot of people are missing. It's that you're not even being mentioned. Like, specific individual sexuality is not being mentioned in this bill that you're talking about. Nothing. It's not nothing about that's being mentioned. So all you're bringing up, if anything, is you telling them on yourself. That's it. About maybe your intentions. If you didn't do it, maybe your intentions, because it would target you just as much as it would target a conservative Christian heterosexual. But the people that have the issue with it, or are trying to specifically say it targets them, are on the alphabet spectrum. That's all I'm saying. Or allies, as they call themselves.
And yes, I do know what's in it. The bill in itself is just another way to stigmatize the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay. They said they read it. Gotcha. Now they're saying that it's just being used to stigmatize them, which means that you didn't read it. So, I mean, that was like within like a 2-second pocket where that person just, hey, I read it. Yeah, I did read it. Bam. Oh, it's used to stigmatize. How? Unless, again, you are wanting to have, particularly in these schools, you want to teach people about this, not people, little children, about this particular topic.
Kids as young as 3 and 4 are actually aware of their gender identity, even if they don't have the language for it.
Like I said, man, the fact that we've even got here, man, is just, That is that statement right there. It probably makes you feel some kind of way. I was reading the chat. If you're listening to this afterwards, you don't see the live chat. I can see some of this. You got like 3 and 4 year olds. This is literally the last thing that they care about. They do not care about that, man. They're like, hey, I want to get on the playground, have some fun. That's all they care about. To say, and this is why it sounds particularly messed up, is because they're acting like, well, they, even if they can't explain it, like, what? What are you talking about?
Also very aware of who they like and who they don't like. Heterosexuality is pushed on our kids on a daily basis at a very young age. Media, through books, the first Disney movie that you saw. Say that
All right, I will say this. And this is the part that I know is going to be taken out of context. I just don't particularly care, because if you do take it out of context, you're the retard, not me. I've said this before. I think this is one reason why it matters. I don't think I've made this statement on my own page. I'll make it now. I refuse to operate as if heterosexuality is not normal. That is not a premise upon which I will ever accept, nor is that's something that I will allow you to control the conversation and act as if, okay, something that has been a part of nature among basically every fucking, aside from a few, and even in the animal kingdom, goddamn it. You are not going to, I reject the premise. Let me say that. I reject the fucking premise that if you are operating as if somehow heterosexuality is something that is like basically conjured, like it's like something that they're trying to equate it to these other genders and all of which they've created like 30,000 of those. They're trying to act as if all of those, or sexualities per se, they're trying to act as if all of those are the exact same as heterosexuality. I reject that. And this doesn't mean, and whether you are gay, whatever, bi or lesbian, if you're a rational person, you'd agree that the default, let's say that, for any given group of individuals is going to be heterosexuality. Like, if that's controversial to you, you are trying to operate in a completely different dimension. But I reject the premise, and I will not operate as if somehow heterosexuality is not the norm. I just refuse to fucking do it.
K through third grade are not ready for such topics is actually internalized homophobia and transphobia.
Oh my! All right. So they said that, and I guess they are queer. So I think me calling them a they them, I think that is because I legit have no idea what the actual gender of this person is. Like, I'm not even trying to be funny here. I have no idea. It could go fucking either way. Nonetheless, I think they them probably is what they will go by. But this person just flat out said that, thinking that it's not appropriate. Like, this is how they control the conversation. They're very good at this. They said, thinking that it's not appropriate for K through third graders, not talking about this gender identity and sexuality shit, is internalized transphobia and homophobia. So basically, if you don't think it's appropriate, and matter of fact, again, I don't want to straw man. I'll rewind here because I don't want to straw man the position.
Third grade are not ready for such topics.
Now let's go back.
Say that pre-K through the first books, the first Disney movie that you saw. Say that pre-K through third grade are not ready for such topics is actually internalized homophobia and transphobia.
Okay, that's what they said. They said that it's internalized transphobia and homophobia. To simply say that that's not an appropriate conversation to be really exploring, specifically from teachers, exploring with people or children through that age group. What in the and this what in the fuck?
Are very much ready for these topics and are way more accepting than adults when it comes to discussing these topics.
This person is like, how is? I'm sorry, y'all. This person is just laying out the game plan. Is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They're laying out the game plan. This person just said that because of their age, they're more accept. Like, that's why they target these youngsters, man. So don't sit up here and tell me like this is the gaslight of it all. When you act like, when you not even act, you tell them this is specifically what takes place. You have people that are so in denial that they just don't want to believe it. We have someone that's a teacher in the goddamn classroom sitting here expressing that, yeah, they're perfectly ready for these conversations. In fact, they're more accepting, obviously, because they're children like sponges, they're more accepting than the adults are. And then when we say, okay, this is what they're doing, the gaslight is acting like you're talking out of your asshole.
We can talk about gender assumptions, pronouns, all the things. And it is child development appropriate and age appropriate. It's literally created as just another means to other queer people. Basically say that us existing is not normal. Hi.
All right. I hate to be, I got news for you. That means you get, no. Again, normal is the operating term here that I want to explore. I can say that if you take and embody me and everything it is that I do, I'm not a normal person, right? I am fucking a black metal front man that was also a collegiate athlete, but a black metal front man, metalhead front man that's also a comic book fucking nerd, while also being a political commentator. Okay? That's not normal. Okay? Now, while there may be things that I do that is normal, I can accept, and it's not offensive if someone was like, there's not a lot of yous out there that do that. That's not normal for people to have that in terms of their like lifestyle. That doesn't bother me, right? Okay, so I want to preface it by saying that. But we already looked at the percentages of people that identify as these different groups. I got news for you. It's not a significant part of the population. I'm sorry. You might think that it is. I mean, hell, if you watch media as of late, you think that are up with a 50% of the country's fucking gay. Not the case. Hell, in the case of like trans and shit, it's like less than 1%. It's not high at all. So yeah, I mean, by textbook definition, it's not normal. If that's what you're referring to, it's not normal. It's not. But this is the thing, is that you are trying to normalize it. My thing is just say that. And you're using the children to do it. Just say that. Just say that, okay, you are trying to normalize it, and we're using the children to do that. Like, this is why I said, and a lot of people have missed it, because I get it. It's easy to focus on just like, okay, this act in itself is just terrible, which you're right. However, you also, I think, understanding why they're doing it is important. As I have said, it's to validate themselves, and that makes it even like more like fucked, because they're trying to use the future generations to basically validate their own existence, and they know that. You got this person telling you, hell, they're ready for these conversations. It's more acceptable of you guys, as if that would have anything to do with other than the fact that they are more accepting of it. Like, guys, y'all got to get y'all's children out of these damn schools, man. I get it. It can be very tough. It can be tough. It can be tough. You've been led to believe that, hey, the teachers, they're all good. They're awesome. They're these very good people that want the best for their students. And, some of you got family members that are teachers and all of that. So, the world or the country has had a generally positive outlook on teachers. I get that, and I understand that, and I empathize with the fact that it'd be quite the adjustment to try to find an alternative or homeschool. But as I've said many times before, if not for your children, then for who? If not for your children, then for who? These people are fucking crazy. And the public education system, which is effectively state indoctrination camp, that's what it is. It's the indoctrination wing of the state. Has long been compromised, though. It's long been compromised. Now, of course, it needs to be eliminated, but until the time being where we can get it eliminated and have you keeping your money that, pays for this and via taxation, so you can, decide wherever you're fucking, at minimum, do everything in your power to keep your children out of the hands of these crazy fucking people. That's all I'm saying.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.